There's just no queen like a vegan queen. Hello everybody and welcome to another episode of Ladies in Lockdown with me, Gemini Andro, and my lovely daughter,
Creeping Miasma.
Oh, do you know, it's been 2 weeks since LimePride and I'm still buzzing.
I'm still coming down from it. I don't mean that in a drug-related way. I just mean the natural high of life.
Wasn't it lovely? Wasn't it marvellous?
I had a lovely day, and I tell you what, it was so good, in all seriousness, to see you and Jason of those vegan guys.
It was lovely. It was lovely and we had Paul and Stuart's parents sat socially distanced in the garden watching. It was marvellous.
Marvellous it was. A good day was had by all.
Now, us two today, Miasma, both wearing predominantly pink and turquoise and white.
That's right, love.
Why might that be?
We've come out in support of the trans community. You know, we've just had the Pride Month, which, sidebar, is definitely an American thing, because like in the UK, Pride goes on for about 6 months.
Yeah, and please watch our LimePride video. I'll link it up there now, because I had my trans shoes on. Oh, they were fabulous, but I
oh,
twice.
I love them. She might have crook-hulled, but it were a triumph nonetheless. But yeah, we've come out in support of the trans community, because, you know, they've been having a rough time of it lately.
They have indeed. And can I just point out, because I know some folk will say, Gemini, you're wearing predominantly pink and turquoise. Where's the white? Privilege, darling. I'm dripping in it. So is that...
Oh, there it is.
It's true though, isn't it, Maya?
No, absolutely true. You know, that's the first step to dismantling systemic oppression, isn't it? You got to own your own privilege and use it for good.
Of course you have. Now, have you noticed? I'm actually wearing a swimming costume today.
I never would have known that. I thought it was just a nice blouse.
You don't think I've gone overboard, do you?
I nearly kicked my leg up then, but I'm not wearing tights and it's been a few weeks. Do you know what I mean? Oh, go on, I'll show you. There you are, loves.
Oh, bless you. So, Maya, we've got a lot to talk about today, and we said we were going to try and keep them reasonably short, didn't we?
That's right, yes.
So we've got the trans issues to talk about. We've got Mrs. J.K. Rowling being an absolute cow-ass.
She's been horrid. She's been horrible.
What a basic thing to link to womanhood.
Mm-hmm.
Menstruation.
Mm-hmm.
Some women don't.
Mm-hmm.
Some women can't.
Mm-hmm.
Some women never have and never will.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
It doesn't mean they're not women.
Exactly. Well, this is where these arguments fall down, isn't it, love? Because if you're going to say that, you know, a woman is somebody who menstruates, what about people that have been through the menopause? Now, I know that might seem, or people who have, you know, issues with their menstrual cycles, as you say. Now, I'm not saying that they've thought that through, but you have to be so careful when you're going to make arguments against people that actually you're not just then invalidating a lot more people. You know what I mean? Language really matters.
Of course it does.
And specificity, you know.
And this is why I'm really glad that fella, writer of Father Ted, what's he called?
Graham Linehan, aka Glinner, on Twitter.
He's been banned, hasn't he, from Twitter?
What a victory.
Actually removed, a bit like that Kate was not so long back.
Oh, that Kate, yeah. Do you know what made me laugh with that, love? So they ban her, yeah? She comes back on a different account saying, "Ha, you won't silence me," and they banned that one as well.
She's a muppet. She's an absolute muppet. The world is so full of bloody hate and anger and intolerance already, and you know, countries on the verge of war and people being oppressed overseas, and all this new malarkey with China and Hong Kong, and America's spiking through the roof with coronavirus. We're going to do it over here. It's like Paul said it on a video recently. he doesn't understand what people get out of being hateful.
Yeah.
It's like they're dealing with their own personal feelings by trying to pass them on to someone else. Because if you spend the majority of your life saying, don't like that, hate that, whoa, and all you focus on is the things that you hate and despite, what's that doing to your innards? What's that doing to you as a person? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, it's like, I think, when we talk about veganism and stuff like that, we talk about, obviously, cruelty to animals and so on and so forth. But we're also thinking about what we're putting into our bodies. Like you always say, if you put death into your body, what's that doing? And it's the same with your thoughts and your attitudes. Why do you want to put toxicity back into yourself?
Why would you want to put the flesh of something that died against its will in horrific pain and suffering and fear? Of course that carries through.
Well,
and then you're consuming it and it's normalised to your system. Oh, okay, fear and anger and it's like, come on, let's just... Do you know what the world needs now?
Love, sweet love.
It's the only thing that there's just too little of.
I agree. See, if I knew more lyrics to that song and I carried that on.
It's the only thing that there's just too little of. What the world needs now is love, sweet love. No, not just for some, but for everyone.
Carry my lip sync on too far, then we'll just say it buffered.
I liked it.
Thank you, love. Appreciate it.
It.
But yeah, you're right. Well, I mean, that brings us on to, that new potential pandemic that's come out in the news, doesn't it? That's relating to pigs.
Yeah, terrifying. Another flu. We'll make sure, because we know there's so many naysayers, we'll put the link down there in the description from the BBC website. So there's this new flu. It's got a long name, but it ends with H1N1.
Mm-hmm.
It's like E4 www.h1n1, something like that. Don't quote.
Gave me flashbacks to when we were in prison that time, because that's where our names weren't. I was like, oh, have they found us? But no.
So yeah, and it's already proven that it is very virulent.
Mm-hmm.
It's already what's it called? Mutated.
Mm-hmm.
And it's already been proven that it can jump to humans.
And yet we'll still get, whenever anyone posts about it, we'll still get butt bacon.
Well, I mean, that's the thing. China's obsessed with pork in general.
Mm-hmm.
America's obsessed with bacon. Britain's obsessed with bacon.
Yeah, it's true.
There's a lot of European countries obsessed with bacon.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's just, as we've discussed on previous episodes, miasma, there are so many devastating illnesses that have come from animals, and it's just like, just take a step back. Mm-hmm. Just for a second, take a step back. See truly what you're contributing to, what you're paying for, what you're handing over your cash and saying, I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
Just give me the flesh. I'm okay with the fear and the pain and the environmental destruction and the risk of other pandemics, considering that we're in one right now, and the risk of heart disease. Here, take my money. I want all of that.
Yeah, exactly.
When vegans talk to you about this, that's all they're saying is take that into consideration. It actually comes from a place because we give a shit about you and the animal, not just the animal, about you too.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Yeah, exactly. It's not good. It's not good, Karen. It's not good.
Jumping subject, if you don't mind.
I don't mind at all. Jump away.
It seems like the makeup community on YouTube is melting like an old lipstick on a radiator.
Karen. What on earth is going on? I was innocently scrolling through YouTube the other day, looking for some tips with lip liner, and all of a sudden, woof, it's scandals, accusations are flying, rowing.
You know what? I'm going to own something, and I'm going to own it now. Not so long back on those vegan guys channel. You know, me and Paul are very close. We go through a lot of the same things, the same feelings, the same emotions, the same likes and dislikes. We're so close. We're so close. So Miasma.
Mm-hmm.
We both went through a very similar thing. So when I'm telling you my story, I'm also telling you Paul's story.
I see.
When it comes to this. Now, not so long back, we both both watched this video by James Charles on YouTube. After all these horrific accusations that were being made by Shane Dawson and Jeffree Star, and eventually Tati, all were coming to the fore. So we watched this video by James Charles, and do you know, I said to a couple of people, I fully believe him. He brought receipts and everything, and I watched him, and I genuinely believed him.
I remember you saying it, yeah.
Some people said to me, no, he's a bitch. He's a bitch. Jeffree and Shane wouldn't do this, and blah, 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 blah. Any road. More fool me. I then got into watching both Jeffree Star and Shane Dawson through that documentary about the makeup industry, and you know, where Shane's range was launched and everything. And it's funny, isn't it, because you do kind of, you judge people on then.
Yes.
That's my first introduction to either of them, is that series, and then I start watching them both, completely forgetting what I believe they have done to a 19-year-old makeup guru who's really rising up, really trying to break him down with horrific accusations. Then all this kicks off. So Shane Dawson's being attacked left, right and centre for inappropriate content involving children.
Yeah. And also blackface.
Blackface.
Yeah.
And then Tati comes out and says, that time when we were all against James Charles, they both manipulated me into doing that.
Mm-hmm.
And I believed them. And me and James are fine now. So, I mean, it is a lot of internet drama, and it is like, I do think to myself sometimes, like, you know, people buy into it. Shane Dawson had a very interesting little live that you told me about.
That's right, yeah. Watching Tati's, this is Tati Westbrook, for those who don't know. She's the makeup guru, and she's got her own brand. He was watching her video and sort of responding live, which, aside from all the other issues, was not a good PR move.
No, it's not.
For someone who's been in the sort of influencer industry for that long, he's made a lot of very stupid decisions.
He really has.
You know, and basically Tati spoke about, and I can't speak to the veracity because we don't know her. She wants to send us free stuff, we'll talk. I'm kidding. And she was
this vegan?
I believe it is vegan, yes.
Oh, good.
And everything, yeah. And she'd mentioned in this video that she was a sexual assault survivor. And on his live, Shane went to say something like, "Oh, shut up," or something basically invalidating her, which and then he stopped himself and said something else. And I just thought, again, talk about really bad PR moves. It's like, that's not your place. That is not your place to invalidate someone else's experience without proof, without anything. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
You know, I think I would say, for Shane at least, I would be very surprised if his career recovers from this.
Yeah, I would. But that brings up a question for me, Miasma.
Oh, yes.
About cancel culture.
Yes.
So how long is the gap between your last major faux pas and your genuine apology? How long does it have to be before it's accepted? At what? I'm a 51-year-old broad now. Completely different woman to the woman I was at 41.
Yeah.
Who was a completely different woman to the woman she was at 31.
Yeah.
At 21. And I am not condoning anything that Shane Dawson has done here.
Yeah. Oh, no, yeah.
But can he move on? At what point can he genuinely apologise and say, I made a mistake, I fucked up?
Yeah.
That was really bad of me. Because this has reached out now to other people on YouTube. For example, Nikki Limo, who is a comedian and an actress who does a series called Tasty Tuesday, and she did something with Shane a good while ago, and that's come back now, and she's had to do a kind of apology video. Now, the BBC aren't constantly apologising for Alf Garner.
Okay, yeah.
Because it's a different time now.
Yes.
Do you get where I'm going?
Yeah, I get what you're saying. I think it's really complicated. I think it's very nuanced.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And there are no defined, all right, it must be this long.
Yeah.
And that's the trouble. Because how do we then allow for growth? How do we allow for change? Why should somebody bother becoming a better person if they will never be accepted as one?
Yeah. No, I think that's a really important point to make. It's like, because, well, there's no unity of opinion, is there, among people in terms of, so if somebody apologises, it's about who's allowed to accept that apology. So, for instance, with the blackface thing that Shane Dawson did, yeah, it's not for us as white people to accept that apology.
No.
But the problem is because, it's for the black community, but there won't be a consensus of opinion in that community. Do you know what I mean? Because there can't be. Some people will just be like, right, cancelled forever. As is their right. I'm not passing judgment, as is their right. And then some people will be like, okay, show me with your behaviours then that you've changed. And then after a period of time go, you know what, to be fair, you did something really bad, you apologise and you changed, therefore I forgive you, we've grown. So this is the problem, because there's no ruling body, is there?
No. And a similar thing, well, not a similar thing, but part of the cancel culture, I know that Vinnie Jones, who about a decade ago was very famous for a dairy milk commercial in this country, and so Pro jumped on that because apparently Vinnie Jones is now eating a lot more plant-based foods.
Oh, okay.
So they wanted him to do an advertising campaign for Alpro vegan milks.
Oh, yeah.
But the vegan community won't have it.
Why?
Because apparently he's past of fox hunting.
But
so Alpro have cancelled the whole campaign and apologised, publicly apologised. But again, I think this is what scares a lot of people off being vegan, is that at what point am I always going to be judged? Even if I've started to make changes, I'm still not accepted.
Yeah. Surely we should be applauding people who've moved away from that and going, you know what, you did that, that's fine. Very small percentage of people will have been born and grown up vegan. I'm not having it.
No. And this whole, I think it's very scary when, well, it's not very scary if it happens with the majority of intelligent people, if the majority of people are intelligent, and I'm not prepared to assume that.
Mm-hmm.
But as soon as people realise that they have the power to cancel, overtake, protest, suddenly nothing is acceptable.
Yeah. Well, do you know what, love? I would bloody wish they applied that to governments.
Absolutely, that's the thing. It's like we're spending so much time giving attention to... Now, I'm not saying that we should ignore J.K. Rowling because her following is too large.
Yes.
However, she's a woman who wrote something wonderful who has now proven herself to be vile.
Yeah.
So stop giving her attention.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's the best revenge, isn't it? In people whose, sort of public profiles are made from their followings. Just stop paying attention.
Yeah.
Don't buy their products. Unfollow them on social media.
Stop watching. Stop liking. Stop commenting. Stop sharing. Because I've never understood that. I've noticed it a lot with vegans on Facebook at the moment. People are sharing. And the people that are kind of pro-vaccine are sharing posts from anti-vaxxers just so that they can mock them. But you're giving attention to the post while you're mocking them.
Yeah, exactly. Like when people say, "Oh, don't read the Sun," and then they'll tweet something that the Sun's written. It's like all you're doing is profiling them.
I don't get it.
You got it. You better think about what you do. You better think.
You better think about what you're trying to do to me. Yeah, think. Let your mind run and let your mouth be free.
Hey, I tell you what, bring back Aretha Franklin.
Oh, she was marvellous.
She'd sort all this out, wouldn't she? She'd get fucking line. But no, I think you're right. Do you know what's interesting actually? Because I saw on Twitter the other day, there was I'm not going to mention the name because I'm not a PR firm. Someone had tweeted about vegan activism, and it got me sort of thinking about it. And but they were quite hardlining how they define activism, about saying like, are you currently like a physical in-person activist, or do you intend to become one? And I put no, because I don't see myself, if I'm being honest, doing that. I would rather, because I think that what activism is or whatever, and again it comes down to nuances, defined very differently. Like I will share things, I will talk to people, have real life conversations about vegan issues, for instance, same as I would about any oppressions. I don't see myself doing much in-person activism, and I'm going to own that. I don't think it's my path. Doesn't mean I don't support it, but I do sort of, again, as you say, it comes down to, there's a lot of people...
That's a very narrow band, though, in-person activism. Because what you're talking about is you're talking about cubes of truth or pig saves or, leaflet giving out in the street or... and I think activism is actually... I mean, you have a conversation with somebody at work about veganism and they ask you a couple of questions and learn something. That's activism.
Exactly. Yeah, you've put it a lot better than what I did with me rambling. But yeah, do you know what I mean? I think.
So, well, that's just it. I think everyone is. If you speak up for Black lives, if you speak against hateful, transphobic people, if you speak up for the animals, even if you just share an article on Facebook and say, people need to look at their meat consumption. Look at this. That's activism. It's all, activism comes in many forms. And I think that we have labelled it such that it appears to only be this, and this. That's activism.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a much wider band.
Yeah, I think it comes down to most things that happen, most movements, most communities as well. I think we get to a point where people, consciously or otherwise, try to out-ism each other.
I know.
Do you know what I mean? I hate that.
I noticed a funny comment on those vegan guys video the other day from a guy saying, all right, so you've done the queer thing and the vegan thing and now the whole food plant-based thing. What are you going to do next? What's your next thing you latch onto to be a YouTuber? And I was like, oh my God, you think this was like, you think my life is that contrived? Paul's life is that contrived? Do you know what I mean? It's like,
what a stupid
see, there are folk on YouTube who are just kind of doing stuff like this, you know, talking about issues, and trying to be positive influences, role models.
Well, when you buy into somebody's, like, you know, YouTube community, it's essentially like their personal vlog, isn't it? Or their personal blog. It's like you're buying into, and I use that in quote marks, the person and their experience. You know, it's like you're getting our take on this. If you want someone else's, go and watch that. It's like Stuart, isn't it? Who's got a library channel, does books and what have you. He's not going to set all that up and then go, do you know what? I really fancy talking about pencils and do like a load of videos on like HB and stuff. I think not. Move on with your comment.
Although I'd be right interested because I've never known the difference between all the gradings.
Oh, I would actually. Shall I get him to do a video?
Oh dear me.
But yeah.
Well,
commenters, folk. We've had them on this channel, haven't we, love?
Oh, well, no. We had them, right. So this video up here, which is the scones video, which is on this channel, is also on those vegan guys' channel. And it was shared by YouTube last week. Well, it seems to have only been shared with the children of right-wing narcissists.
And you know, they're not even our first target market. They're like fourth on the list.
It were awful. It were awful for about 48 hours. Vile. Wasn't it?
It was foul. You know, you just think, don't you? It's like, I like to think, love, you and I, we're not at the same age, but we're at a certain age now where we can go, that's just people, and block it out. What it made me think of was, I know we have younger followers as well.
I know. Well, I think actually Paul did a follow-up video on it. Queer vegan drag queen.
Yes.
And Stuart's channel's already there.
Yeah.
And that video I've just linked to Paul's is from those vegan guys' channel. Subscribe to them both, they're lovely.
Yeah, why not?
Don't be rude. That's what I say. I've got seconds left on the main camera before I have to restart it.
Okay. Should we do a brief pause then and come back?
Let's do a pause, Carol.
All right, love.
A few moments later.
So here we are. Again, happy as can be.
So, Miasma, after that little break, eh? What do you think? Oh, by the way, if you didn't watch LimePride, I know we've already linked it, and if we haven't, I'll do it now. Do have a look at it, and you can still donate via the links in the description. You can donate directly to the charities, or you can donate through PayPal to us, and then we get a third. So it's your call. But I would really like to do another one as soon as the weather dries up a bit.
Well, we've had calls for it, haven't we?
Another Backyard Live show. I can't see why not, can you?
I would be over the moon to do another plethora of songs and comedy in the backyard.
Let's say then we're definitely doing one. We don't know the date yet, but yeah, we've definitely got one coming up in the future.
Comment what you'd like to see. We're not promising we'll do it, but comment anyway.
Yeah, let us know what kind of numbers you like. And did you like the numbers we did in LimePride? You know, those are important questions.
Absolutely.
Right, love, should we bring this one to a close? And so we're not, like, keeping people for 50 bloody minutes talking about all sorts of stuff.
Oh, I know, and then they moan.
I mean, I don't blame them, really.
I don't blame them either, but isn't it
We
a
have
shame?
lifted ourselves up. I mean, usually I'm sat in my rollers and my slippers,
Exactly.
tights down my ankles.
Mm.
But today I thought, no, get dressed up. I'll get dressed up for you. And I've not worn my swimming costume for ages.
Well, it's not really been possible, has it, swimming?
Oh.
You know, I suppose you could sit in it in the bath, but it's a bit tragic, really, isn't it? You know, you don't want any of that.
Right, love.
Ah, love.
So, you know, let's hope that all this malarkey on with the YouTube community, makeup community, sorts itself out soon.
Come on, yeah, we've got bigger fish to fry, people. Vegan fish to fry.
And let's be careful about jumping on board with the whole cancel culture. And I'm not saying forgive and forget.
No.
I'm saying let people move on.
Mm.
If we're constantly calling for people to be better, we have to leave room for them to be better.
Yeah.
We have to. And then when they are, we have to acknowledge it. Otherwise, what's the point?
It's true. It's true.
You know.
Defo, love. You know, let's just have nuanced, complex conversations about things.
Yeah.
Because the issues are complex. So let's make sure when we're reflecting on them, we're equally critical.
Absolutely, my husband.
You know.
Absolutely, my love. Right, so we'll be back again in a fortnight, will we not, my darling?
We will indeed.
We'll be having another chat about all kinds of things. This has just been, you know, what's been prevalent really for the last couple of weeks, which is what we normally do in Ladies of Lockdown series. But it's been lovely chatting to you, and LimePride really was outstanding. I'm so proud of us both. All the neighbours, Paul's neighbours, were lovely about it. They've all been asking, hey, are you going to do it again? Will you do a bit longer next time?
We were like, you show me the colour of your money, generic neighbour, and we'll see.
Right, love, should we get off?
We're best, Dad, love. You take care.
You too, my asthma. And no doubt I shall... I'll be seeing Stuart soon, no doubt, with one of his little book reviews. Channel already linked. No doubt those vegan guys will be back with another recipe or a rant or a live or a... whatever it is they're doing these days. And we'll be back in a fortnight, if not before, with a little bit of something. You never know with us two, do you?
We're crazy, we'll do out.
Oh, we'll do out for a tenner. Don't tell Putin that. Right, my darling. You look after yourself and yours. And I'll see you very, very soon.
Bye, love. Bye, everybody.
Bye, everyone. Thanks for watching. Oh.